Hey everybody, back out here in the boat again doing some more organization, and I came across three baits that I want to talk about that I feel like don't get a whole lot of credit for being clear water baits. They seem to really stick for guys down south or just in your dirty water in general. And these are baits that, I mean, dude, there was a guy who finished the top 10 in the elites throwing this bait out here. Um, but with that being said, I mean, the first one that I came across that I found interesting, just deep diving crankbait. Big deep diving crankbait. I mean, it doesn't even have to be big. You throw a Strike King Series 3, which is a medium diving crankbait, little profile, or smaller profile, it catches them great. But this one right here, that's a 6XD, and I mean, Keith Combs, I think it was, actually, in the elite event that I was just talking about. He threw this thing out there and was winding it back, catching giant smallmouth on it, and it was just an awesome bait for him. So, I mean, it just catches them. It's great bait. The other one that I throw is a Berkley Dredger. This is the 25.5? Yeah, 25.5 foot diving dredger. And you could see I wore the paint off of this one. And I actually doctored this one up. You could tell with a Sharpie marker. Make it look like a perch. But, yeah, you see all the hook rash. There's teeth marks all in it. But this thing has been an awesome bait throwing this out on, like, I mean, I'll throw it on 10-pound test, but it gets a little sketchy throwing it on 10-pound test out there. But you get another 2 foot deeper or so. But yeah, man, deep diving crankbait, just an awesome bait that gets bit in clear water from both smallmouth and largemouth. Just not a lot of guys are doing it. Second bait I want to talk about, no secret here, just not used a lot in clear water. 10-inch worm, or big worm for that matter. 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever you want to throw. Just a big worm. It gets bit from both largemouth and smallmouth. I mean, the other one that I throw is just a Zumo Monster. A little smaller. This is the Excite Baits Maximus, which is a great worm. Really, really good worm for your largemouth. But if you were to only have the two of them and you were going to fish for smallmouth and largemouth, just a Zumo Monster. I mean, it's a great worm. This is cherry seed. It's a great color. I mean, I this year and last year never realized how great a 10-inch worm is at catching smallmouth. Like, this thing, I think I caught more smallmouth on a 10-inch worm in the past 2 years than I have a drop shot or a Ned rig. Like, I just seem to cling to this thing more so than I do those because everybody's throwing it. Everybody's throwing a Ned rig. Everybody's throwing a drop shot, but this thing just gets it done. I mean, it's a bigger profile, especially when it's hot out and those fish got higher metabolisms and they don't want to eat something that ain't worth their time, and this is just a big meal for them, and that applies for smallmouth too, like I said. It's crazy. But, yeah, good bait. I mean, just catches them. Catches them, very underutilized. This one here is one that I don't really know if it's underutilized or if just not a lot of guys throw it or know about it for that matter, but this is an awesome bait, and that bait is the Live Target. I think it's the bait ball. I'm not even 100% sure on what this is called, but if you go on Tackle Warehouse, you could find it. It's the Live Target bait ball, I think. But unbelievable bait. This is a 3/8 ounce size here, so you could chuck this a long ways on like 12-pound test, little hook in it. I mean, this got to be like a little 3-inch swim bait on the back of here, and these are just your dummies. It's basically, think about it as a mini A-rig. That's how I fish this thing too. But the best part about it is you can fish it in shallow water too. I mean, dude, I'll throw this thing in the chain, and for those of you who know how the chain is, that thing can turn into a little mud hole. But I mean, in the fall, great bait when those shad are small or that all those fish are pushed back into your flats, your mud flats, all that kind of stuff. You can catch them on this, dude. I mean, it's just a great bait. It's little, works great in Geneva too. When you got those glass minnows, for those of you who fish there are these weird little pin minnow, glass minnow things. I'm not sure what they are, but in the spring they will school up by like the thousands, and they will be all over. I mean, I've had them school on my boat before while I've been out there fishing, and they look identical to this, and it's really hard to match that profile right there and throw off a big enough of like a disturbance to make your bait stand out from the rest of them. But this is an awesome bait to do that with. I mean, like I said, just got a bunch of little dummy teasers on there and got a blade in the middle. So it's just something different. I've never seen anybody else throw this for that matter. But yeah, go on Tackle Warehouse, look that thing up, give it a try, and I'll see you guys on the next one.